Hey YouTube, Sandy Frank here. This week's episode of Hobby Talk, I want to talk about two big sports things that happened this past week. The NBA trades and, of course, the Super Bowl. I'll start with the Super Bowl since that's more freshly in mind. If you guys watch the channel, you know I'm a Chiefs fan, and I have to hand it to the Eagles. They were definitely the better team, and I way underestimated them. And I think they exposed the Chiefs' weakness, which is their offensive line. And Mahomes just could not do anything, and played very poorly. And there's no excuse at all except the strengths of the Eagles were way too much for the Chiefs to overcome. They did avoid the tush push situations, which is a very slight silver lining. Maybe they were spending too much time worrying about those plays, but the Eagles were definitely a better team, and they definitely showed it in that game. And I hope the Chiefs are able to fix up this offensive line problem that's been, honestly, it's been a problem all year, but no team was able to exploit it quite like the Eagles. And I think that's why the Chiefs' offense was so poor and seemed so vanilla all year. It's because they had to do plays that Mahomes just, they knew he was not going to have any time to do anything because of that left tackle situation. And I was thinking, they're just holding things back for, a playoff run or the Super Bowl. And clearly that was not the case. They just knew they would not have enough time to do anything crazy, so they just had to do simple plays. And it came back and bit them. So in the hobby aspect of this, I think, obviously, Eagles stars cards like Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, those types of cards that are going to go up in value. Jalen Hurts beat the best. He beat Patrick Mahomes head to head. I didn't think that was possible, but I should have known better. And hey, he's the reigning Super Bowl champ now, and he becomes, I think, the first player in that 2020 class to have a Super Bowl ring. So congrats to Jalen Hurts. Congrats to that whole team. I was proud of the Chiefs' defense, even though the Eagles scored 40. It was not the defense's fault. They were put in terrible situations. There was a pick six. A lot of short fields. And the defense did not play terrible. They actually kept Barkley in check. So next year, the Chiefs, they have to. There's just no top priority more than addressing this offensive line. And this is 2 years now where we've had by far a huge glaring problem with offensive line, and it goes unaddressed. Maybe not unaddressed, but unfixed the whole season and cost us in the biggest game of the year. So that is frustrating that that's happened 2 times now when it should never happen. You don't see other teams having this problem. I don't know why the Chiefs are not investing more into that offensive line, because you got to protect Mahomes. And you've gotten shown 2 times now that as great as Mahomes is, if he doesn't have time, it doesn't matter. And congrats to the Eagles. We'll see what happens next year, but the Chiefs are still going to be great. I still think they're probably going to get back to the Super Bowl. I mean, they seem like they're a notch above everybody else, but then when you get in a game like that, you kind of wonder a little bit. So, those are my football thoughts. Another hobby-related football thing is are Mahomes cards going to take a dip? I think they will. People love to overreact in card collecting, no matter if it's TCGs, if it's sports, if it's non-sports. The market overreacts, and there's people that panic. There's going to be people looking to sell Mahomes cards because he didn't three-peat, which is just crazy to think about. But after a bad Super Bowl game, his card prices will go down. And I think the time to strike on Mahomes cards, which I definitely am planning on, I'm going to ready myself for the right time, it's going to be mid-season next year. Let's say the Chiefs still have offensive issues. Mahomes isn't leading the league in passing. You're going to see Mahomes prices drop down. They're going to drop down in the off season, but as the new season, preseason games get going, people get excited for the season, his stuff will go up, and then stuff always comes back down during the regular season. And if he has a little bit of struggles in this next year, I am definitely going to pick up some Mahomes cards that I've wanted to pick up for years, because there's going to be a dip. I don't think there's any doubt, unless he comes out next year and just in the regular season just lights it up like 2019 or 2018. I just don't think that team has enough offensive firepower for him to do that. So if you believe in Mahomes, next year might be a really good year to pick up some nice Mahomes cards. All right. The other stuff is about the NBA. And you could do 2 complete episodes of how we talk on these 2 issues. But I am so frustrated with the Dallas Mavericks, Nico Harrison, their GM. Without a doubt, the worst GM in sports right now. And in my mind, the worst trade I've ever even heard of. You can look back at terrible trades throughout sports history. Let me think. Trading Babe Ruth for from the Red Sox to the Yankees. That one was worse. That was a worse trade, just because of what Babe Ruth became. But Babe Ruth wasn't, the greatest player in baseball when he got traded. It was just a trade that came back and haunted the Red Sox for a century. You look at football trades. The Cleveland Browns trading for Deshaun Watson was a mind-numbingly stupid trade, but that wasn't as bad as this trading Luka from Dallas to the Lakers. That's going to go down as a top probably 3 or 4 worst sports trade in all-time history. And it was orchestrated by Nico Harrison, the worst GM in all of sports I've ever seen. And you go back to, Jerry Krause in the Bulls is one of the most hated GMs. Guess what? He also won 6 championships. So just because he had to break up those teams, I don't know if he had to, but just because he broke up those Bulls teams, they had already won 6 championships. So he did build those teams. But, he did break up the dance back then too. Pretty bad moves. But, I don't hate Anthony Davis. It just makes no sense in any circumstance to trade Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. Basically, they got peanuts for Luka. I could talk. I'm not a huge NBA fan, but I did like Luka. So since I was from that area, if I had to pick one NBA team that I would watch a game of, it would be the Mavericks. And I loved that they had Luka. Luka was great, and Luka he might not have been the best player in the NBA, but the fans love Luka. The other teams hate Luka. That's the guy you want on your team. How painful is it going to be for people that really love the Mavs to have to watch this team now? And surprise, Anthony Davis, aka Street Clothes, gets injured like the first few minutes he's playing for Dallas. And who knows how long he's going to be out. But, that was just... I know there's some people trying to talk about how, this is actually a good trade. You know, the Mavs could win a championship here in the next couple of years. You trade your whole franchise's future away, your whole fan base's favorite player. You made kids cry. Like, little kid fans of your team cry. Tears because you traded their player, Luka Doncic. What a bad move. I feel really bad for true NBA fans of the Mavericks. And a lot of people are saying, why would Mark Cuban do this? Well, Mark Cuban sold his interest in the team. I don't think he sold all of his interest in the team, but he sold a majority. So he has no control over the team at this point. There's no way Mark Cuban would have allowed that to happen. This is a guy that is out of his league, Nico Harrison. He shouldn't be a GM. And this is what happens when you have someone who shouldn't be in that type of position making, like, just insane decisions. And he did it, like, behind everybody's back because they knew that everybody would, like, revolt if they knew that he was trying to do this. So he's like kind of like bragging in press conferences about how, the only way we could get this pulled off is if everybody stayed quiet. Yeah, because it was a terrible trade. And yes, the Lakers guys were like, yeah, don't tell anybody you're doing this. They knew that if word got out of this, that it was going to be really, really bad. Just a god-awful trade. Like what worse NBA trades has there ever been? A lot of people say, the the Clippers trading away Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to the Thunder. That was a terrible trade. Well, who knew that was going to happen? That Shai was going to become, a top tier MVP caliber player, because he was, it was after his rookie year. Luka is a top 5 NBA player. He's made the the All NBA team multiple times. You knew you had gold. You knew you had a supermax player, and you traded him to the Lakers. A rival, no less. That every time Luka plays the Mavericks, you don't think he's going to score like massive points. He's going to make sure he plays those games. And, one of the supposed reasons for this is that he did not keep himself in top shape. That might be true, but hey, why don't you get him a trainer? You got one of the best players in the NBA. Why don't you help him out in an area he needs help with? Just very frustrating. So what does this do with his card prices? How does this affect the hobby? Well, he's going from Dallas to the LA Lakers. So, of course, this is a bump up. Just like players who go to the Dodgers, their cards get hot, or players go to the Yankees, they get hot. A player going to the Lakers, that's going to be more exposure, big market, more worldwide eyes on the Lakers than the Mavericks. This is going to help Luka prices. If Luka becomes the player that he really could become, let's say he figures out, hey, I need to take better care of my body, and takes it up a few more notches of his talent and gets the most out of his body. He's only 25, guys. He's got a lot of years ahead of him. it's good for Luka prices, and it's been reflected in that his stuff is almost up double. I was looking into this. His Prism rookies, they went from like 175 to over 300. The what they've been selling for, and that's only going to go up because he's in a bigger limelight on the player. Anyway, what do you guys think of these two big events, the big trades in the NBA and the Super Bowl? What does it do to Mahomes stuff? If you're a fan of Mahomes cards, are you looking to pick up some here in the inevitable dip in overreaction? Are you taking this opportunity to sell Jalen Hurts cards? Are you taking this opportunity to sell Luka cards as his cards went up a little bit? Or are you a long-term holder? I'm always a long-term holder unless I have duplicates of cards, and then I end up selling them. But if I was like buying cards to put away, I would wait for a dip on Mahomes, which I do plan on doing that, and then I was never in a position where I would say to sell Luka's, even though he was way overpriced early on, but definitely not now because his cards have come down a ways. He's got room to go up. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos later.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night.